Have you ever looked around at your life and wondered, why do I still feel so much pain? Why is there this heavy weight in my chest even when everything seems to be going well? Maybe you've tried meditation, took advice from friends, or pretended to be okay so long that even you believed it. You might scroll social media and see others smiling and ask yourself, why can't I feel that kind of peace? But no matter what you do, that silent suffering just stays. It follows you through your day like a shadow you can't catch. Well, today I'm going to tell you something powerful and surprising, something perhaps no one has had the courage to tell you until now. Most of your suffering does not come from the world outside. It comes from within, from the part of you you've ignored or abandoned. Carl Jung, one of the greatest names in psychology, said, "What you do not bring to consciousness emerges later as fate." In other words, the pains we fail to face within ourselves will keep playing out in our life. What if this quote holds the key to your liberation? So in this video, we're going to dive deep into that hidden reason behind your suffering, and the truth is, you can stop it. We'll explore how you can turn your pain into a pathway for healing. You'll hear stories, simple exercises, and insights rooted in Jungian psychology that will guide you toward freedom. By the end, you will see suffering in a totally new light, not as a curse, but as a doorway to greater wholeness. If you've ever felt unseen in your pain or been told to just get over it, this video is for you. Don't suffer in silence any longer. Make sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the rest of this journey. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with something you've felt or experienced. Your story might help someone else. Now let's begin the journey inward, because the path out of suffering leads through the depths of your own soul. Take a deep breath and let's step forward together. You've already shown courage by being here. Not many watch a video like this to the end, so take a moment to acknowledge that bravery in yourself. Every minute you invested in your growth is like planting a seed. One day it will bloom into understanding. It's okay if you still have questions. Curiosity is the spark that will keep you exploring. We often look outside ourselves for answers, the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect circumstances. The world tells us that life will change when everything around us changes. But here's a hard truth. If there's a crack in your soul, no amount of achievements or distractions will ever completely heal it. Think of it like this. Imagine a cracked piece of pottery. No matter how glossy or beautiful it looks on the outside, that crack is still there. You might try to paint over it or cover it with gold, but the break is part of the pot's history. Similarly, if there's an unresolved crack in your soul, no amount of success or joy can fully patch it. For example, I once knew someone who climbed the ladder of success quickly, a great career, accolades, and money to spare. To the outside world, they had everything. But late at night, alone in their apartment, they felt utterly hollow. They confessed to their journal, "I smile and celebrate achievements, but when I'm alone, I wonder, is this all there is? Why do I feel so broken when everything looks perfect?" If this feels familiar, you're definitely not alone. Many of us have heard the saying, money can't buy happiness, and yet we often miss the deeper insight. Sometimes we hold the key to our own unhappiness. We're often at war within ourselves, even as we blame what's happening outside. We might look around and think, if only I had that job promotion partner, I would be fine. But even when some external change happens, that empty feeling can stay behind. Now you might be thinking, but I grew up in a tough situation, how can you say it's inside me? And that's a valid question. Childhood trauma, loss, or any painful experience can ignite the original wound of pain. But Jung's insight is that the way out is often not by erasing those past events, it's by finding the place inside you that still holds the hurt. That inner part of you hasn't been acknowledged or healed yet. Consider the concept of the inner child, the part of you that felt scared, lonely, or hurt when you were young. Often we never comforted that child or gave it permission to express itself. We grew up thinking, I should be over this by now, but that child is still in there, whispering through your anxiety, your anger, or your unexplained sadness. Here's a practical step you can start with. Notice the patterns. Whenever you feel a surge of pain or anxiety, pause and name it. What triggered it? What memories or thoughts came up? Ask honest questions. Instead of distracting yourself, gently ask, what am I really feeling right now? What am I trying to avoid? Acknowledge it the moment you catch yourself thinking, I shouldn't feel this. Stop and simply say in your mind, yes, this hurts and that's okay. These steps might seem small, but they begin to gently guide you on the path inward. And here are common traps people use to bury their pain. Filling your time, you might throw yourself into work, chores, or constant social plans, so you never have a quiet moment to think. Numbing out, others turn to alcohol, drugs, or even excessive TV Netflix to cover the dull ache. Social media rabbit hole. Scrolling and comparing can keep your mind busy, but the void in your heart is just paused, not resolved. People pleasing, maybe you keep others happy at your own expense, never voicing what you really feel. Each of these strategies feels helpful at first, but in the end, they just bury the pain deeper and keep it alive under the surface. Even noticing these coping habits takes courage. It's not easy to acknowledge them, but when you do, you open a small door inside. Maybe through that door, just a sliver, you catch a glimpse of what your pain is really about. And once you see even a sliver, healing can begin. So here's our first core idea to remember. Suffering often comes from the parts of ourselves we've neglected. Imagine carrying a hidden burden in your heart, and no matter how fast or far you run, that burden will keep shaking you. The only way to truly set it down is to look at it, not pretend it's not there. Take a moment and notice how you feel right now. Maybe your heart has tightened up, that's okay. It could be nerves or maybe a bit of relief or even skepticism. Whatever you feel is a sign, something inside you is waking up. It's normal to feel a mix of fear and hope when parts of us get attention after hiding for so long. Instead of blaming the outside world for your pain, I invite you to look inside. It may feel scary, but your shadows hold the keys to your healing. You are braver than you know. Once you face what's inside, the suffering has less power over you. Remember, within every painful emotion lies a hidden strength. For example, fear can transform into awareness and caution, teaching you to protect what matters. Anger can become passion and clarity, motivating you to set boundaries or make change. Sadness can open the door to empathy and creativity, allowing you to deeply connect with others. Recognizing this helps those emotions feel like allies guiding you toward growth. By the end of this section, keep in mind, you started by realizing that your pain has meaning, and now you see that even your darkest feelings carry gifts. In the next section, we'll continue this journey, showing how your greatest pain can become your most powerful ally. Now that we've asked what's hurting, let's dive deeper into the hidden side of our mind. Carl Jung called this the shadow. It's the part of you that holds all the emotions and desires you've pushed away, things you think of as wrong, embarrassing, or too much. In fact, almost everyone goes through life with a smile while carrying a bag of unspoken feelings. Think of the shadow as a secret garden inside you. It contains your repressed anger, jealousy, sadness, and even your quiet ambition or creativity that felt too forbidden to admit. The key idea here is simple. The more we ignore our shadow, the heavier and darker it becomes inside us. Let's make this real. Think of a time you felt an emotion and immediately tried to hide it. Maybe you were angry at a friend but smiled and nodded anyway, or you felt jealous of someone but made a joke about it. What happened to that anger or jealousy? It didn't disappear, it just went underground. Maybe later that day, a small incident that normally wouldn't bother you suddenly made you furious. Or you felt sad and you didn't know why. That's your shadow at work. By constantly denying these feelings, we create inner tension that our conscious mind can't easily hold in check. This is why so many people end up feeling anxious or depressed seemingly for no reason. If you've ever been hit by a wave of sadness out of nowhere or felt inexplicably on edge, it could be because a buried part of you is calling out for attention. Whenever your feelings explode or drift away, ask yourself, could this be an old pain trying to be heard? Often, the mind will find any outlet to express what it's been holding inside. So how do we deal with this? Here's the radical answer: stop running. Instead of pushing pain to the side, step toward it. Lean in, listen to it, give it some air. When a wave of anger or sorrow appears, treat it like a message rather than an enemy. You might silently say to yourself, okay, I feel you. What do you need from me right now? Doing this takes courage, but each time you do, you chip away a bit of the hold that shadow has on you. Here are some ideas to consider. Dialogue with yourself. It might sound odd, but try talking to that feeling as if it were a person. You could whisper, I know you're there, I'm here to listen. Reflection and journaling. Every day, take a few minutes to write down how you feel. Notice any patterns. When the same feeling shows up again, your journal might reveal what your shadow is trying to say. Mindfulness practice. Sit quietly for a moment. Notice thoughts and emotions as if you are a caring observer. When sadness or anger surfaces, watch it with kindness rather than pushing it away. Creative expression. If talking or writing feels hard, try drawing, painting, or even playing music how you feel. Your unconscious might express truths through art that words can't capture. Seek gentle guidance. If emotions feel overwhelming, consider talking to someone you trust, a friend, mentor, or therapist. A safe listener can mirror back what your heart is saying, making the invisible visible. Remember what Jung taught: your unconscious is not a dump for useless feelings. It is a living intelligence inside you, full of wisdom. It wants to show you something important about who you are. Every feeling it's given you is a clue. Let's pause and reflect. Right now in this quiet moment, is there something stirring inside you that you've been ignoring? Maybe it's fear, sadness, or guilt. Recognizing that feeling is the first step toward freedom. You don't need to understand it all immediately. but acknowledging it with curiosity sends a signal that you're ready to heal. I know this can be intense. Maybe you feel resistance or even a little panic. That's okay. The very part of you that feels this is the part that knows something important has to change. It's whispering to you now, stay with it, you are safe, take a deep breath. This is part of your journey, not the end of it. By the end of this section, I want you to see that embracing your shadow isn't dangerous, it's liberating. It's like turning on the lights in a dark room. The more of you that gets light, the less the darkness can bite. Every part of you that's visible is a part you can care for. Something amazing happens when you finally say, I'm willing to meet you. Next, we'll explore what happens after you start to face that light, how your greatest pain can become your most powerful ally. Stay with me. Meet Tom again. He had climbed every mountain in his career, achieving goals that felt like summits. The audience was applauding, confetti was falling, but Tom felt empty. Even at his highest peak, something was missing. Later that night, in the quiet of his apartment, he knelt on the floor. Tears came without him understanding why. He realized that all the success he had chased couldn't soothe the hurt inside. That's when Tom understood. True success isn't just applause, it's a deep inside you. He decided that maybe the victory he needed wasn't outside, but within. What about you? Are you chasing the right goals, or could the real victory lie in meeting yourself? Now let's talk about transformation. Listen carefully. The very pain you've been avoiding can become your greatest teacher. Your suffering is not meant to break you, it's meant to open you. Think of pain as a portal to a new level of being. Every person who has undergone real change noticed the same thing. Their deepest wounds ended up reshaping their lives for the better. Imagine a caterpillar in its cocoon. It feels like darkness and chaos inside, but that is exactly where the transformation happens. You might feel trapped by your suffering, but in truth, you're in the process of becoming more fully yourself. So what can you actually do with your pain? Here are some practical steps. Name your pain. The first step is to identify exactly what you're feeling. If it's grief, name it. If it's anger, shout it maybe into a pillow. Naming gives it power and texture. Feel it fully, allow yourself to experience the emotion. Cry, shout, move, or sit still, whatever comes naturally. It's okay to be overwhelmed for a moment. Emotions need an outlet. Write or create. Channel your experience into writing, art, music, or movement. Even just scribbling the word hurt on paper can release something inside. Breathe through it. When pain hits, take deep breaths. Inhale strength, exhale tension. Sometimes the body holds on to pain, and mindful breathing helps to release it. Take supportive action. After a cry or an outburst, do something kind for yourself. Maybe take a warm bath, go for a gentle walk in nature, or talk to a friend who cares. Small acts of self-care help you rebuild after an emotional storm. Of course, this process is not always easy. At first, diving into your pain might make you feel worse. That's normal, you're clearing away old debris. You may encounter fear, self-doubt, or resistance, your old defenses kicking in. If that happens, be gentle with yourself. Remember, every time you allow yourself to feel something, you chip away at the power it has over you. Think of it like digging for buried treasure. Sometimes you find rocks, sometimes you find something broken, but if you keep digging, you will eventually find something precious underneath. You might face questions from others too. What are you doing with yourself? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? Healing isn't a common conversation in our culture, so you might feel misunderstood. That's okay, stay true to yourself. Some people may drift away out of confusion or fear, and that's their journey. Others will be drawn to your new authenticity. Also, watch out for comparing your journey to others. Everyone's path is unique. Some heal quickly, others take longer. There's no schedule, no race here. Keep your focus on your own growth, not anyone else's pace. Many people who undertake this inner work report striking results. They feel more alive and creative. They find joy in small things. For example, one friend of mine, when she finally allowed her grief to flow instead of suppressing it, discovered a new passion for writing poetry. Another man turned his past fear of failure into the courage to start a community charity. It is said that your wound is the place where the light enters you. In other words, what once hurt you can become the doorway to light, to meaning, purpose, and connection. For instance, one friend of mine, when she finally allowed her grief to flow instead of suppressing it, found hidden inspiration in writing. That quiet voice inside her started composing beautiful poems she never dreamed she could write. Another person I know, after facing his fear of being alone, discovered he had a hidden empathy and began volunteering to help others. These people found that what hurt them most became a source of strength and creativity. Your life is an alchemy. The lead of pain can be turned into the gold of wisdom. Jung described this integration as individuation, the process of becoming your true self. It sounds grand, but really it means being whole just as you are. No need to be special or flawless. When you bring all parts of you into the light, each part can play a positive role. You may start to sense a quiet confidence and peace that you never felt while avoiding these parts. Celebrate how far you've come. Every moment you've faced your truth has been a victory. By now, we've explored the depths of your own suffering and seen how facing it can change everything. For now, rest in knowing you have done incredibly meaningful work already. In the next section, we'll zoom out even further to see how this inner work connects to bigger questions, like how we relate to others, to society, and to the meaning of life itself. Now let's zoom out. If all this work inside you is true, what could it mean for the world we share? Right now, much of society treats pain as a problem to mask. We distract ourselves with endless tasks, social media, screens. Yet philosophers from Socrates to Buddha have long said that understanding ourselves is the highest calling. Imagine if we built our lives around honesty and healing instead of avoidance. Think about this, many of the conflicts and pains we see in the world could be seen as collective shadow issues. Feelings like anger, fear, and jealousy play out between people and even nations. If enough individuals face their own shadows, those collective tensions would begin to ease. It's like each person holding a candle. The dark room of society would gradually brighten as more light is turned on inside each person. In practical terms, this could transform relationships and community life. When you understand your own pain, you start to empathize more deeply with others. Imagine classrooms where students learn emotional honesty, or workplaces where colleagues check in on each other's well-being. Perhaps more parents would teach their kids that every feeling is okay to express. These small changes could ripple out, making our communities more understanding and caring. Historically, humanity's stories and myths reflect this path. Heroes often descend into darkness, into caves, forests, the underworld, and emerge transformed. We see this in every culture: the dragon to slay, the mountain to climb. You are now on your own hero's journey. As more heroes like you find the light, our collective story changes. Looking ahead, one hopeful insight is that culture is slowly shifting. We're hearing more open conversations about mental health and personal growth. Apps, books, and communities focused on self-awareness are everywhere. Every time someone chooses to sit with their pain instead of numbing it, they chip away at old stigmas. Consider these emerging trends. Education reform. Some schools now teach kids emotional awareness and coping skills alongside math and science. Workplace wellness. Companies are starting to offer mental health days, counseling services, and even meditation rooms. Community support. From support groups to online forums, people are finding new ways to connect over shared experiences and healing. Media and art, films, TV shows, and books are more openly discussing mental health. Social media influencers share personal stories, making therapy and self-care more relatable. Tech and apps, new meditation and mental health apps make it easier for people to start their journey anywhere. Global movements, initiatives like World Mental Health Day or online wellness challenges bring millions together in understanding and compassion. These trends show an awakening. If you keep exploring yourself, you might even influence these waves. Share your story, create art, or simply be the calm presence someone needs. From a spiritual perspective, many traditions suggest that individual healing contributes to a larger awakening. Jung saw hints of this in his idea of the collective unconscious, the idea that we are all connected at a deep level. When you become more whole, you might feel more connected to life itself. Your individual transformation can uplift the collective spirit. We should also acknowledge that this journey isn't about fixing the world overnight. It's a long, patient process, but small actions matter greatly. You talking openly about emotions can encourage a friend to open up. Teaching a child to express feelings can break a cycle. Supporting a movement for mental health can change someone's access to help. Each choice to face reality makes that choice easier for others. If this big picture interests you, I encourage you to explore more. Reading Jung's works on the psyche, even in simple summaries, can be eye-opening. Other resources include Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, which shows how meaning can come from suffering, or books on creativity and emotion. There are also podcasts and communities focused on self-awareness and healing you might join. The journey of understanding is limitless. As a closing reflection, ask yourself, if one person's journey inward can make such a difference, what might thousands of hearts discovering themselves create? Each person who does this work becomes a little light in the world. You are part of that change simply by being here and learning. In summary, suffering is universal, but our choices are personal. Each person who turns inward creates ripples outward. You are now part of a growing wave of people shining light into the darkness. Cherish that role. Keep exploring. If this video opened new doors for you, step through them. Maybe start with a self-care routine tomorrow, or share what you've learned with someone else. The journey doesn't end here. It's just the beginning of a new chapter of awareness for you and for the world. We've traveled a long way together. You started with a simple question, why do I still hurt when everything seems fine? We learned that the answer often lies within. Remember, your pain is not the enemy. It's a signal, a teacher, a part of you asking to be seen. We broke it down into clear steps. First, notice your pain and ask what it wants to tell you. Then we understood the concept of the shadow, the hidden emotions and desires we avoid. You learned that running from suffering keeps it alive, and that turning toward it can be the path to healing. You've already shown courage by being here. Not many watch a video like this to the end, so take a moment to acknowledge that bravery in yourself. Every minute you devoted to this is like planting a seed in your mind. Those seeds are growing right now. Here are the big takeaways to hold on to. Suffering has meaning. What you hide inside tends to come out as fate. When you face it, you change your destiny. You carry a shadow, we all do. Embracing it makes you whole, not broken. Pain can teach you. Every painful emotion has wisdom and strength locked inside it. Practical steps matter. Writing, breathing, expressing, talking, these actions help unravel your pain. Integration is freedom. The more of yourself you accept, the less power your pain has over you. Hope is real. Many have walked this path and emerged stronger, living proof that you will too. Now it's time for action. If this video resonated with you, don't let it end here. If you're not already, subscribe to stay connected. We're building a community of explorers just like you. Please like and share this video to spread these insights to others who might need them. And don't forget to comment below which idea touched you the most. Was it realizing that suffering comes from within, or that pain can become your guide? Sharing your thoughts not only makes these ideas real for you, but might also light the way for someone else. I'll leave you with this final thought. If your suffering was a doorway all along, what will you find on the other side? What part of yourself are you ready to meet? Consider giving yourself a simple challenge in the coming days. Maybe write one sentence about how you feel, or tell someone one thing you've been holding inside. These small steps can open big doors. You might not feel an immediate answer to that question, and that's okay. Healing is not a race, but know this, you are ready to step through. Every moment you've already held this question is you becoming your own healer. Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and keep shining your light.